Self-proclaimed Celtic fan Calvin Broders Jr., better known by his stage name Snoop Dogg, seemingly wants to replicate Ryan Reynolds' Wrexham success north of the border, as he recently expressed interest in putting money into the club. The rapper mentioned the Celtic mascot Hoopy the Hound as a reason behind the interest, as he'd be a perfect match for his Snoop Dogg stage name. However, Snoop Dogg isn't the only celebrity that has a soft spot for Scottish football. I've put together a list of 10, some more shocking than others, including a few honourable mentions. Stick around for the story behind number 10. You're not going to want to miss it. Kicking things off with the most recent celebrity to start following Scottish football, we have Radio 1 DJ Greg James, who's apparently now a fan of Livingston. Yes, they do exist. Greg may not have always fancied the Lions, but he was recently gifted a signed football, Livy shirt and a 2025 calendar, which inadvertently turned him into a bit of a club legend. On social media anyway. On the Radio 1 breakfast show, he was having a look through the calendar and sarcastically read out some of the players' names. Turns out those players he named then went on to score in the following match. Never mind Mystic Meg, we've got Mystic Greg. The club then posted a highlights clip showing each of the goals with the quotes of the Radio 1 DJ playing overhead. With his name now engraved in the club's history, Greg James had planned a trip to see his newfound heroes take on Falkirk in the top of the table clash at the end of March, but only if he could get permission off his mum first? What? Who writes this pish? From one championship club to another, and now we have a former British Prime Minister in Gordon Brown, possibly the most well-known Raith Rovers fan, certainly not the most well-liked, especially not by this woman. Not only is Gordon a huge Raith Rovers fan, but as a child he actually worked for the club as a programme seller on match days. He'd arrive 2 hours before the game, sell the programmes and then get a free ticket to the match. Sounds more like a punishment to me. He also more recently became a shareholder of the club, helping save them from administration in 2005. When Raith Rovers won the League Cup in 1994 against Celtic, their only major honour, Gordon was in London filming an interview for his role as Shadow Chancellor of the UK. The poor guy couldn't even get a radio feed of the game, so he's had to rely on his brother calling him from Glasgow and playing audio over the phone. Technology's come a long way in 30 years. Speaking of polarising politicians, next we have the late First Minister of Scotland, Alex Salmond. Not only do Gordon and Alex share career similarities, they also both had a hand in saving their beloved football clubs. When Hearts were in administration back in 2014, Alex Salmond was open in his desire to help, including speaking directly to Lithuanian politicians that participated in the discussions. Lo and behold, 1 month later, Anne Budge & Co took control of the club. Former Hearts chairman George Folks tweeted about Alex in the aftermath of his death, thanking him for his involvement in the club's safety. Unlike Gordon Brown, however, Alex Salmond managed to witness his club lift trophies firsthand, and on multiple occasions. League Cup in 1962, Scottish Cups in 1998 and 2006, before the best of the lot, the 5-1 drubbing of City rivals Hibs in 2012. It's safe to say Salmond's political views may have divided opinion, but nobody could deny his love for his football club, and his country. Sticking in Edinburgh, we have Charlie and Craig Reid, better known as the Proclaimers, who are massive Hibs fans. Aside from their most well-known hit, 500 Miles, the twins have made numerous songs referencing Hibs, including one with another Scottish club in its title, the joyful Kilmarnock Blues, a song which details the pair's away trip to Kilmarnock to see Hibernian play. Although this song directly mentions their love for Hibs, it was another of the band's songs which became the club's anthem, Sunshine on Leith. Now, I'm no fan of Hibs, but this is undeniably the greatest anthem of any club in Scotland. The moment when they won the Scottish Cup final in 2016 and Sunshine on Leith ringed round Hampden is a moment that most Hibs fans will never forget. Seeing as I mentioned the joyful Kilmarnock Blues, let's move on to a celebrity Kelly fan, and there's nobody better than singing sensation Marie Osmond. Although she was once part of her family band, the Osmonds, Marie was more known for her solo career, specialising in country music. She also duetted at times with her brother, Donny Osmond, but it was her solo cover of Paper Roses in 1973, at the age of 14, which propelled her to stardom. The hit song, originally sang by Anita Bryant, took Marie all the way to the top of the US country charts, making her the youngest female act with a #1 country song. She still holds that record today. Who needs Taylor Swift when you've got Marie Osmond? Now I know what you're thinking, where does Kilmarnock come into all this? Well, the reasoning isn't 100% clear, but it's rumoured that Kelly fans adopted the hit song Paper Roses around the time of Marie's cover, as the club were in a bit of a rough patch, yo-yoing between the two leagues. A bit like the two Dundee clubs in recent years. They'll have been up and down more than Bonnie Blue. Don't Google that. Someone who was once rumoured to also support Kilmarnock, but actually prefers a different Scottish club, is Calvin Harris, part-time fan of his hometown team, Queen of the South. I say part-time, it's just like any plastic football fan, Calvin only supports the team when they're doing well, posting on Facebook prior to their Challenge Cup final against Ross County back in 2011. They lost 2-0 that day. Nice one, Calvin, if that's even your real name. To be fair to Queen of the South, they did win the trophy 2 years later, beating Partick Thistle in penalties. No post from Calvin that day, however, probably busy supporting his big team. While he's most known for making EDM and electro house music, No idea what any of that means, so don't ask. Calvin has recently taken a step into the country genre. Wonder what his ex-girlfriend Taylor Swift will think of that one. She'll be drafting up another song about him any minute now. From Queens to the King? Stephen King to be exact. Bet you weren't expecting his name to show up here. Well, believe it or not, Mr. King has a bit of a liking for a team playing in the Highland League. Buckie Thistle to be exact. Now I'm not one to judge, but aren't you a bit old for Buckie, Stephen? Jokes aside, not only has he taken a liking for the team, he's even included them in one of his books. Yes, you heard that right. Multi-award winning author, Stephen King, has included a reference to Scottish Highland League football team, Buckie Thistle, in one of his stories. The book in question is a horror novella called If It Bleeds. Explains the horror show that Buckie have put on at times this season. They lost to a guy named Keith for f***'s sake. They really don't want to get promoted, do they? Stephen King offered a helping hand to the team during the COVID pandemic by sending them 2 copies of his book. One sold for £900 and the other is apparently being kept in the club's trophy room. It'll be pretty lonely in there for a while if this season is anything to go by. Moving from one Thistle to the next, we have famous Partick Thistle fan David Hasselhoff. The Hoff is best known for Baywatch, but back in 2015 he gained a newfound love for the Jags. Funnily enough, his love for the club started with him taking a piss out of them in a panto in Glasgow. He made a reference to them being lower than low before he even knew what the club was. Heck, he still doesn't even know where they play. After being asked on radio to his breakfast show back in 2019 if he'd ever go and watch a match in person, the Hoff said yeah, but on one occasion, if the club comes to the UK. Some fan you are, David. To be fair to him, he did wear his Partick Thistle shirt when walking through the streets of Edinburgh before Comic Con in 2018, so he must be somewhat aware. He also once described himself as the club's lucky mascot after they went on a 4-game winning streak in 2015. I always knew it was you under there, David. From one American actor to another, we have Isiah Whitlock Jr., best known for his role as Clay Davis on the hit TV show The Wire. Now this is one of the weirdest ones in the list because Isiah really loves Stenhousemuir, and nobody seems to know why. The first glimpse of this was in 2020 when he quote tweeted a fellow American's tweet about a Dunfermline vs Hearts game, asking to be made aware when they were playing Stenny. This tweet caught the attention of Scottish football fans everywhere, including the Stenhousemuir FC account, who officially welcomed him to the club. This was just the start of Isiah's Stenny loving, as he began to tweet about the club again and again and again, even posting an edited photo of himself wearing the kit. He's more of a Scottish football fan than half the folk on this list, and he lives halfway across the globe. You got up your game, Calvin. Strangely enough, Isiah isn't the only celebrity fan of Stenhousemuir. In fact, they've got more celebrity fans than most clubs in Scotland. Michael Palin from Monty Python, Kevin Dwala, host of Blues Clues in the UK, and even Brendan Foster, the long distance runner who created the Great North Run. Apparently there's also a Norwegian supporters club with over 100 members. Before we get to number 10, I'll share some honourable mentions that aren't quite exciting enough to warrant their own spot in the video, but still deserve a word. Number 1. Lorraine Kelly, Dundee United. Number 2. Coolio, Ayr and Celtic. Disgusting! Number 3. Robert Carlyle, Partick Thistle. Number 4. Ian Armitage, Falkirk. And last but not least, number 5. Neil Warnock, Greenock Morton. Everyone knows who your big team is, Neil. Finishing off with possibly the most famous of Scottish football celebrity fans, with undoubtedly the most controversial of stories, we have Sean Connery, considered by many to be the James Bond. Now, to fully understand this one, we've got to go back to Sean's childhood. He was born in Edinburgh on the 25th of August 1930. Surely supported an Edinburgh club then, right? Hearts? Or Hibs? Maybe even Edinburgh City, who were founded just a couple years prior? Nope. By Sean's own words, his dad introduced him to Celtic, and he was apparently a big supporter of the club throughout his youth. It came as a shock to everyone then when he switched allegiances to another Scottish club in his later life, abandoning his dad's chosen path. Which club, you ask? Maybe he went back to his roots and chose Hearts or Hibs? Or maybe Aberdeen or Dundee United when they were flying in the 80s? Nah, he chose Rangers. The ultimate betrayal. By his own admission, Sean always supported the team I thought played the best soccer. Ugh, he even called it soccer? What the f***, man? That's messed up. Apparently Sean had the chance to play football professionally himself, but turned down a contract with Manchester United in 1953 to pursue acting instead. Good thing he did. Bobby Charlton and co would not have stood for all this soccer bollocks. That's it for this video. Thanks to anyone that made it this far. If you enjoyed, feel free to drop a like and leave a comment. Maybe even subscribe. Click here to continue watching more of my content. Thank you.